Satya Nadella talks about the Xbox strategy, and as usual, this creates just a huge discussion online. Doesn't really say anything new, nothing that we don't know that Xbox is already trying to do, but we will look at that and go over what he says. It looks like Xbox is expanding their user interface to more devices, or at least trying to. We're sort of seeing them do that with getting Xbox games on other launchers like Blizzard and stuff. So there's a new project that is in the works there, and some more PlayStation games may actually be coming over to Xbox, which is the overarching strategy going forward this generation and into the next, is having games in more places. And we have some big updates here on some games, specifically Exodus, which looks phenomenal. One of my most anticipated games after seeing this trailer and just thinking about who's working on it. I'm very excited for this upcoming new space RPG. We'll talk about all that plus many more things. If you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, like the video, all of that stuff. And let's jump into talking about the Xbox strategy. So Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella was discussing Xbox and the growth of Xbox, where they're going. And one of the things that did come up was their most recent Xbox ad campaign, which is the "This is an Xbox" campaign. And you can see it here where they're just showing that basically everything is an Xbox, except for a litter box or a bento box. Those aren't Xboxes, but everything else, you have access to Xbox. Even in like Meta's VR headset, you can get Game Pass on there. On the Fire Stick, you can get Game Pass. The consoles, the PCs, the laptops, the smart TVs from Samsung, and I hope they kind of expand that out at some point where more smart TVs get access to the Game Pass app. But basically everything is an Xbox. Even PlayStation has Xbox games on it, so technically you could say, hey, that's an Xbox too. So he was talking about this with shareholders. They were interested in the gaming business, and they were talking about the acquisition of ABK and then the overall arching growth of Xbox. And here is what he says. He says, shareholders are also interested in our gaming business. This is Brett Iverson, who actually said that, the Microsoft's vice president of investor relations. And he says, our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, Satya, how are you feeling about the early return on that investment and the progress on our overall gaming strategy over the last year? And Satya Nadella responds, I'm feeling very, very good about where we are in gaming. In fact, right now, this is like the peak season in gaming. Obviously, with Black Ops and the new Call of Duty, it's just been fantastic to see the launch and the marketing around it, the buzz around it, and the love for gaming. So that is his comments on the acquisition of ABK. Nothing really big there. Yes, we are in the peak gaming season. It always is in the last quarter of the year where you get some of the biggest releases, and Call of Duty always is one of the biggest releases every single year. So that's going to benefit Xbox now going forward. Every time they put that out, just having the biggest release, having all of the marketing for it, being able to push that as an Xbox Games Studio game. Now, the other thing that he talked about, and there's actually a clip of him here talking, is the strategy of Xbox, where they're going, expanding out to more places. Again, nothing new here is said. He just says it in different corporate speak, but it has a lot of people talking because of the way that he did phrase it. So we'll just take a second here and listen to what Satya Nadella has to say specifically.
And the love for gaming.
He's asking, again, the Xbox strategy is what he's talking about. And here it is.
And the love for gaming. If I think about it, right, we chose the secular growth category in entertainment, which we think is gaming, and said, let's double down on it. And it's been a passion for Microsoft ever since. In fact, I think Flight Simulator launched before Windows or Office even. And so it's like one of the longest franchises in this company. And so we said, let's take that joy of gaming everywhere. And that's why even these ads with Xbox now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. So our strategy with Activision content now is in full force. We feel fantastic about the progress we've made. And more importantly, I think on long term, as a company, we can bring the best of AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation, PC innovation to build the best games that can be enjoyed by gamers everywhere.
So there's a couple of things here that he does say. And again, nothing new, but the main thing people are focusing on here is redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan. Everyone is kind of up in arms about that. I would say specifically the console warriors are up in arms about that, because to from the beginning, since the OG Xbox, the strategy and the fandom behind Xbox was the console. And if you were an Xbox fan, it was because of that plastic box. You thought it was better than the competing plastic box in PlayStation or in Nintendo. And that is just now doesn't really matter. It doesn't even matter from a hardware perspective. When you strip off the outside layer of both the Xbox and PlayStation, the internals are both using AMD. They're both using the same architecture. It is essentially the exact same thing. They're both basically just PCs with a different outer shell. So that is a kind of a different tangent you could go down. But being an Xbox fan, they're redefining it and basically saying that they want Xbox fans everywhere, no matter what device that they're playing on. And again, this is nothing new that when what they have been saying, but people are still discussing and debating whether this is going to help Xbox in the future, or is this going to hurt the overall strategy and the overall brand going forward, where eventually the console is just going to go away. And what we know right now is they're still making more consoles. He even mentions it in this clip, and a lot of people just kind of ignore that part about it. They just want to be outraged about the sentence of redefining what an Xbox fan is. He does say they want to continue with console innovation, giving people more ways to be able to play and making their experiences better. And you have to me, the exciting part about this is how are they going to make that pivot now with their games being everywhere? What are they going to change with the next generation console to make it enticing for people to want to go and pick up that hardware? They're going to put cool tech in there, I believe. I think they're going to give other features besides just exclusive games, which in reality isn't even the main reason why people buy consoles. Like he talked about AI, maybe putting some more features like that in there. AI upscaling is going to be a huge thing. What are they going to do with allowing other apps on the console itself? Will they have some sort of integration where it is essentially more a PC where you can actually access your other launchers like Steam on an Xbox console, just with a nice built out console UI that Xbox has already created? So there's a lot of things that they can do going forward to get people to want to jump in to the platform itself. And they're already really working on that with the whole cross saves and play anywhere, which has been around for a while, but they're improving it by adding more games into the Windows Store. For me, it's a pretty big buying decision now, or at least helps my buying decision. If I see a game that's Play Anywhere that I know I can play on my 2 Xbox consoles that I have, go jump onto my PC, have the same file just seamlessly circulated around anywhere that I'm playing, to me, that's more enticing than purchasing it on Steam going forward without any console connected to my TV with like a Steam box or something. We know Steam is potentially getting into the console market, so that could also be another game changer. But at the end of the day, they are going to be doing a lot of things here that will make it enticing for people to play. And then the big thing, Game Pass. Game Pass is the major seller going forward. So nothing new here, but the console warriors are still going to be upset every single time they do talk about this. The reality of the situation is this is the decision that's been made. Who knows if Phil wanted this? Who knows if Sarah Bond wanted this? Satya Nadella and the people at the very top who handled the financials made this decision a while ago. It is the way Xbox is going. You either can continue to complain about it forever, it's not going to change anything, or you just don't play Xbox anymore if it's something that you really believe is not good and not for you as a gamer. It's the way that it's going. And for me, having more access to my games everywhere is a good thing. And we'll see this strategy with other companies as well continue to happen. I mean, even with PlayStation, with their games on PC, that's a good step in the direction of just getting more access to their stuff. And in fact, it looks like there could be some more PlayStation games coming over, or games that were previously exclusive to PlayStation coming over to Xbox. We have this report here. This is via Insider Gaming, and a report from Windows Central and Jez Corden saying that sources have told him that there will be more unannounced and previously PlayStation exclusive games coming to Xbox next year. And we don't know what those are. I mean, there's still those major looming ones like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy 16, like, are those coming over? I would not be surprised if those are the announcements he is referring to. But it says here, news of PlayStation exclusives coming to Xbox shouldn't surprise anyone. Over recent years, both sides have continued to release games on the competing platforms. Recently, Genshin Impact finally made its debut on Xbox after being console exclusive to PlayStation since 2020. Another PlayStation exclusive, Predator Hunting Grounds, released on Xbox in 2024 after 4 years as a Sony exclusive. So we should be seeing more here. We don't know specifically if he's referring to first party or third party games, but there will be more games that were exclusive on PlayStation coming over to the Xbox platform. One game that we have heard in the rumors which is a Lego game, but it is a PlayStation first-party IP. The Horizon Lego game could be coming over to Xbox. I mean, I'm not interested in that game, but I think that would be a pretty big moment there where you're seeing a major IP from PlayStation, where they have put so much money into that to build it as that PlayStation brand and an IP that if that lands on Xbox, it is more signs going forward that the entire gaming industry is becoming more multi-platform, which is a good thing for the gamer at the end of the day. No matter how people want to look at this from a console warrior perspective, getting more access is always a good thing. The other cool thing that they are doing, and again, not surprising, we've seen this already, but they are working on a cross-platform interface called Project Rainway. And I think this is very, very smart. If you want to put your games in more places, keep them in that Xbox ecosystem with the branding, the interface, all of that stuff, giving your profile and their achievements. If you can do that, it literally does not matter where people play the games. They're all playing it within Xbox. But this, again, comes via that same article here from Windows Central. And Jess Corden saying, sources tell us that Microsoft is also working on a set of in-game APIs and user interface features called Project Rainway, which is some form of cross-platform Xbox guide menu. And we've seen them working on that with the PC side, where they're really improving those things. And I think a lot of it is going to be getting ready for handhelds, depending on how they handle the Xbox handheld, whether it's just their own native device or if they're going to license out the Xbox UI to other manufacturers. Continues here and says, Microsoft has been inspired by the in-game BattleNet social features seen in Hearthstone, Diablo 4, and World of Warcraft, which lets you share and communicate cross-platform. And this means that for games running on other platforms from Xbox, they will still have an Xbox flavor, and in-game Xbox systems, maybe even cloud saves. That would just be massive if they did that. That would be a huge game changer, because you would have people wanting to stay in that ecosystem for something as simple as cloud saves, which is handled very, very good, especially when you are comparing it to how PlayStation handles it. Still locked behind PlayStation Plus, not nearly as seamless as when I'm playing on my Xbox, going to my PC, going on my cloud, and the game literally loads up exactly where I left off perfectly. So that would be huge if they're just going to create this UI. No matter where you log into an Xbox game, you're still in that ecosystem and you're getting access to all of the features that you have with your Xbox account. So very cool stuff there. Again, I hope they do this. And I think this probably has a lot to do with the next gen, with building out a handheld, with potentially licensing out the console UI to other manufacturers and everything. Everything just needs to stay seamless with that Xbox UI and branding and all of that stuff. All right, and last week was the release of Indiana Jones. Phenomenal game. I'm very close to the end of it. I think I'm about 15 or so hours into it. And we got the first update for it. The game didn't really have any issues at all at launch. Like, there's no graphical issues, no real glitches, AI, everything works very well in that game. But they're still going to update it and continue to make it better. And we have the first one here. And this has to do with improvements to global illumination on the Xbox Series X and S and fixes to DLSS on PC. You can see the before and after pictures. This is before, this is after, and that is actually a pretty big difference here with just deeper blocks with the shading, and just you can definitely see the reflections and everything. The lighting is just far nicer. So it's actually pretty nice what they've done here with some of the upgrades in the first patch. But when you log into it right now, without the patch, the game still does look very good. And it brings me back to id Tech. I think id Tech needs to be spread around the Xbox Game Studios and utilized in more games. It's their own in-house engine, and they could do some great things with it. And we are seeing that here with Indiana Jones. All right, let's talk some other stuff here. There's more news other than just all of the Xbox stuff and the Satya Nadella stuff. But Lords of the Fallen 2, if you're a fan of that series, it is now in full production. We have this tweet here from the CEO of CI Games and the game's publisher. And this is Marek Tyminski saying that the next game under Lords of the Fallen has been already under full production for a good part of this year. As of now, we have over 200 people full-time working on that, both internal team and code dev partners. So we know that this game will be released sometime in 2026, but the marketing campaigns will be starting in 2025. We'll probably see this game at the next showcase, next summer games or whatever, as they prepare for its release. But if you're a fan of Lords of the Fallen, next game should be coming soon. All right, let's talk about a new game that got a gameplay trailer that has now jumped to like the top of my most anticipated games list, or at least up there, and that is Exodus. We got a brand new gameplay trailer for this game. Go check it out. It looks phenomenal. But why I'm so excited about this is because it has the people who are behind games like Star Wars, The Old Republic, Mass Effect 2, and all of these great titles, all these great RPGs from the past. A lot of them BioWare, of course, where BioWare, the people at the current studio are nowhere the same as to what they were in the past. That's one of the things when it comes to especially Western developers. A lot of these studios have great names, but all that really matters are the people actually working at the studios and making the games, and they move around. But there's a new studio here, Archetype Studios, that is creating this game called Exodus. And again, it looks absolutely phenomenal. A mix of Mass Effect, space RPG stuff, and they showed off a brand new gameplay trailer with some combat, the characters, story elements to it. Looks great, and here is what we know about it. It says the basics: an action RPG with dialogue choices, your own ship companions, both human and alien, skill trees, etc. You play as June, who is the team describes as a sort of mix between Indiana Jones and Paul Atreides. You can customize your character, male or female, and choices in the game define you. The game structure says there are structured quests as well as areas you can explore around in, similar to KOTOR, Mass Effect, Dragon Age Origins. You decide the manner in which you do the quest, which is awesome to see. You can go on quests to retrieve celestial technology, and depending on what you decide to do with that tech helps your society advance militarily, etc. And the game world can change drastically. Some choices you make with the celestial tech can open up entirely different weapons and technology. You are joined by a large cast of companions, and you bring two along with you on quests like Mass Effect. Companions are going to be a big thing, I feel like, especially with the recent games like Dragon Age. That's been an issue with just the characters that they are in terms of their pushback and not really having a major effect on the decisions that you make, or making you feel like they care about the decisions you make, and always kind of just saying yes to everything. There's romance in the game, if you're a fan of that. Some companions will be at each other's throats, and you'll have to side with some over the others. And some companions can change radically depending on choices you make. For example, through time dilation, leaving companions behind may change them, age them, etc. by the time you come back. The game sounds absolutely phenomenal from everything that was described there. And like I said, the gameplay trailer looks very good, and it's from the people who made some of the greatest RPGs of all time. So I don't think you can really go wrong on this one. I think it's going to be a very, very good game, and just kind of a brand new studio coming out here and taking over the RPG genre. So I'm excited, really excited about this one. As Knights of the Old Republic, one of my favorite games of all time. Obviously the Mass Effect series, I really enjoyed those. Those are great. So we will see how it ends up. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint, but right now it sounds very, very promising. All right. If you're a fan of Killzone, I've always said PlayStation needs to bring this franchise back. They need to jump into their back catalog of games, bring back stuff like Killzone and Resistance, bring out a first-person shooter with multiplayer and online, and then have a games as a service with these IPs that people already love. Well, it looks like Killzone is coming back, but not in the way that I think people would really, really want. But it looks like it's coming back in Helldivers 2. It says here that's been claimed by data miners that Killzone collaboration is en route for Helldivers 2. If these reports are accurate, it'll be the first time we've seen something Killzone related surface in a game outside of Astrobot in more than a decade. The last one was the launch Killzone Shadowfall or something, whatever it was called, for the PS4, I believe. I believe that was the last Killzone game, and I forget how that one did. I actually thought that was a very beautiful looking game and a showcase for the PS4. I didn't actually enjoy it. I remember picking it up day one and actually playing through it, but I feel like it just didn't do very well commercially, or the reviews weren't that great. And then they just stopped making Killzone since then, and they've moved on to just investing everything in Horizon. I mean, this is from Guerrilla, right? So Guerrilla has just moved on to Horizon and just making the remasters, Horizon 1 and 2, and spin-offs with it, and just completely here forgetting about Killzone. But it looks like it could be coming back in Helldivers. I would love them to actually make a real game, brand new game, with a new entry into the Killzone series. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.